On the night of November 24, 1971, a man bought a one-way plane ticket under the name Dan Cooper. He wore a black tie, dark sunglasses, a plain suit. He ordered a bourbon and soda, paid cash, and sat quietly as the plane filled around him. Then he handed a flight attendant a note. She assumed it was a phone number. She tucked it into her pocket without reading it.
You should probably look at that.
She opened it. The note said he had a bomb. By the time that plane landed, D.B. Cooper had collected $200,000 in ransom, released the passengers, and vanished into a rainstorm over the Pacific Northwest wearing nothing but that suit and a parachute. He was never found. No body, no confirmed identity, no arrest. The FBI investigated his case for over 45 years. They interviewed thousands of people. They tested hundreds of suspects. And they closed the file in 2016 without a single answer. D.B. Cooper is the only unsolved air piracy case in American aviation history. And some researchers believe that is not an accident. Flight 305 departed Portland, Oregon on the afternoon of November 24th, bound for Seattle. It was the day before Thanksgiving. The plane was not full. After passing his note and revealing a briefcase he claimed contained explosives, Cooper made his demands calmly and clearly. $200,000 in unmarked $20 bills, 4 parachutes, a fuel truck waiting in Seattle. The airline complied. The FBI complied. Law enforcement on the ground complied. Cooper was cool, polite. He thanked the flight attendants. He ordered another drink. He let every single passenger off the plane in Seattle without harming anyone. Then he instructed the pilots to fly toward Mexico at low altitude with the landing gear down. Slow, low, exactly the conditions you would need for a parachute jump. Somewhere over the forests of southwest Washington between 8 and 9 p.m. in a dark rainstorm, D.B. Cooper strapped on a parachute, opened the rear exit staircase of the Boeing 727, and stepped into the night. No one saw him land. No one saw him again. What followed was one of the most exhaustive manhunts in FBI history. The serial numbers of every single bill given to Cooper had been recorded. Banks were alerted. Businesses across the Pacific Northwest were told to watch for the bills. For years, nothing turned up. Then, in 1980, a young boy on a family camping trip along the Columbia River found a small bundle of decaying $20 bills in the mud. The serial numbers matched. They were D.B. Cooper's bills. But here is what made investigators uneasy. Only a small portion of the money was ever found. And it was found in a location that did not match any of the flight path calculations for where Cooper would have jumped. Which means either the money drifted there over years through the river system or someone placed it there deliberately. Some investigators believe the find was staged. A message. Proof of life from a man who wanted the world to know he had made it. The rest of the money, $180,000, has never been recovered. Here is where the case stops being a simple crime story and starts feeling like something else entirely. The parachute Cooper chose was a non-steerable military reserve chute. An experienced jumper would have taken the steerable civilian chute that was also available. Which means either Cooper did not know what he was doing or he did not care, because he already knew he would survive. Several suspects over the years had military backgrounds, paratrooper training, and knowledge of the Pacific Northwest terrain, specific enough to suggest they had studied it in advance. One theory that has gained serious traction among researchers is that Cooper was not a lone criminal, that the hijacking was a coordinated operation, that someone on the ground was waiting for him, that the money found in the river was a deliberate plan to close down the active investigation and let the trail go cold. The FBI never officially endorsed that theory, but they never ruled it out either. And when they closed the case in 2016, they cited a need to redirect resources, not a lack of leads. Think about that carefully. They did not say the case was solved. They did not say Cooper was dead. They said they had other things to do. Somewhere out there, in a house or a grave or a life lived quietly under a different name, is the answer to who D.B. Cooper really was. $200,000 in 1971 is worth over $1.5 million today. Enough to disappear on. Enough to build a new life. Enough to become someone the FBI would never find if you were careful enough and smart enough and patient enough. Whoever Cooper was, he was all three. And if he is still alive today, he is in his 80s or 90s, sitting somewhere comfortable, watching the world try to figure out what he already knows. The only man to ever hijack a commercial flight in America and walk away free. If this episode made you look twice at the person sitting next to you on your last flight, good. That is exactly how it should feel. Subscribe and stay close, because what is coming in episode 6 will make you question something you have believed your entire life. I will see you in the dark.